Hi, I'm Alan Gordon and welcome to another video book. It's yours absolutely free. Hey, in exchange for that free book and in all the videos that I've created about sales skills that I know you're enjoying, go ahead and click that subscribe button down below and also that like button. Click like, comment, subscribe. All that you interact with our videos actually go to improve our rankings on YouTube and Google. So thank you so much for doing that. Today I want to talk about creating urgency. It's the age-old sales question, isn't it? How do I get a customer to make a decision today, right now, rather than tomorrow or next week or next month or next year? How do I create urgency for the customer to act now? Now we have a little problem with urgency, okay? I'm going to be honest with you, because customers, any customer that's over the age of 10 is not going to be confused or swayed by a gimmick to create urgency. Customers now are very savvy. Everybody's telling them to buy now. This price is good for today only, right? But they understand that if they miss the Thanksgiving sale, there's going to be a Christmas sale, there's going to be a New Year's sale, there's going to be a President's Day sale, and a Valentine's Day sale, and a Mother's Day sale, and a Thanksgiving sale, and a Labor Day sale. They know that if they don't buy it today, that your gimmick of saying, oh, you have to buy this today, this is the lowest price you're ever going to get, they know it's not true, and they know that they can come back next week or next month or next year and probably even get a lower price. So how do you get around the clutter that's in people's minds and create legitimate urgency for your product or service? Well, first of all, I want to preface all of this by saying there is no single answer. Every product sale is different. Every service sale is different. I work with many different salespeople in many different companies, and what works for one doesn't work for the other. So unless you want to hire me as your coach so I can help you through it, you're going to have to figure out how to create urgency in your particular sales situation, but I will give you tons of ideas in this video. There are two types of urgencies that I've identified. The first is called situational urgency. That means that we've got a problem today that we have to solve. The status quo is no longer acceptable. The way we do business today is not going to continue. We have to solve a problem. Every day that we don't solve the problem, we're losing money or some other stress or problem. So I have a situational urgency. Now I'm going to give you an example. The one I'm thinking about is let's say I'm a florist, and part of my flowers and plants are in a refrigeration unit. And let's say that the compressor on the refrigerator dies. I've now got situational urgency because every minute that those flowers are in that refrigerator and that temperature goes up and up and up and up and up, I'm going to lose inventory. I'm going to lose a lot of money. I'm going to lose sales. I'm going to lose inventory. I'm going to replace the inventory. I've got a situational urgency right now. So I'm going to look on the internet and I'm going to find someone who can fix this refrigerator. So I'm going to call the first person that answers the phone and say, hey, I have this kind of refrigerator, the compressor's blown, do you have that part, and how soon can you get here? Now, how often does that happen where you get someone that comes to you and says, I have to buy this right now, it's urgent, I have to buy it now? Well, that would be great. So that's one. But the other 99% of the time, you're going to have customers who do not have situational urgencies. They're shopping, they're browsing, they're gathering information, they're putting proposals together for something that they're going to do 6 months down the road or a year down the road. So how do you create situational urgency in their minds to get them to not wait 6 months, but to make a decision now, or at least to make a decision sooner? The technique that you use for creating situational urgency is called anxiety questions. So let's say I'm a florist and I've got a refrigerator, it's 12 years old, and it's working fine, but I'm shopping around now, I'm gathering information, and I'm just trying to learn about the different refrigeration units that are available for my florist shop. So I call you, you sell refrigerators, and the first thing you find out is I'm in no rush. I'm probably going to buy a new refrigerator in about 6 months. So what you're going to do, if you've looked at any of my videos and read the book, I hope you have, You're going to ask needs development questions. You're not going to just start telling me about all the refrigerators you have. You're going to find out more about the refrigerator I have now, what I like about it, what I don't like about it. How big is it? Do you know the BTU rating? How old is that refrigerator? Did you buy it new or did you buy it used? I'm assuming it's past the warranty, right? So you're going to ask all these, what do you like about the refrigerator you have now? What don't you like about the refrigerator? If you had your wish of any features in a refrigerator, what would you want your new refrigerator to be? Now I understand that you're not going to be buying this refrigerator for another 6 months. And now I'm going to ask an anxiety question. But let me ask you this. Let's fast forward 6 months from now. What would happen if that 12-year-old refrigerator would fail? What would happen if the compressor went out and you couldn't find a replacement? What would happen if it went out on a day when you were closed and your refrigerator was off for more than 24 hours? Ooh, well, I would lose a lot of money. Yeah. So notice what I've done. I've created situational urgency, not by telling the customer that he has to buy a refrigerator now, that he shouldn't wait 6 months. I'm not telling you to buy it now. I'm implanting in your mind by asking the question, the anxiety question, what would happen if? What would happen if the worst case risk that you could imagine would actually happen? If you're selling life insurance, and it's another opportunity to do the same thing. The customer, the husband and wife, they're not sure they can afford it. They want to put it off until I get the bonus, or until my Christmas bonus, or let's put it off till then. Okay, great. Yeah, so you want to move forward in about 6 months. Let's fast forward 6 months. What would happen if the worst were to happen and you were to die? What would the situation be like? Well, it wouldn't be good. Okay, I didn't tell you you have to buy life insurance today, but I implanted the risk, the worst case risk in your mind, so that you now have a good reason in your mind to do it sooner. Maybe it doesn't make any sense to wait 6 months. Maybe we should get this life insurance today. Maybe I should buy this new refrigerator today. And okay, great. Let me show you all the refrigerators that we have. And oh, by the way, new refrigerators these days, they have little monitors in them that monitor the compressor. So if that compressor goes out, within about 15 seconds, you're going to get a text, and our service department is going to get a text that that compressor is not working. And as part of our service agreement, within 2 hours, we'll be at your site with the right part, and we'll get your refrigerator back up and running. I never said you should buy a refrigerator today. I implied it by asking good questions and the anxiety giving you the worst case risk in your mind. So that's a great technique to create situational urgency. The second type of urgency is called emotional urgency. This is the one you see all the time. First of all, there are 20, 30 different emotions that you can appeal to get people to make a decision today. So let me first explain how human beings make decisions. The psychology of a decision is the first thing that happens is you get the emotional desire to buy the product or to move forward or to act now. So you get the emotional impulse to do it. And then what happens after a little while, after a certain small period of time, your logical mind starts building up all the reasons why you're not going to make the decision today. So you first get the emotional impulse to do it, and then if you don't act on it right away, your logical mind takes over and stops you from doing it. Here's an example. I'm surfing the internet one night and I see a really great deal on a 2-week vacation to Italy and Spain and Paris, and I'm like, wow, this is a great deal. I want to take a 2-week vacation to Europe. I'm so excited. I'm not even going to tell my wife. I'm going to surprise her. I'm going to go ahead and get this vacation. So if I don't click and give my credit card right now, what's going to happen is, wait a minute. Do I really want to spend $2,000 on a vacation, or might I want to save that $2,000 or put it towards another use? Or wait a minute. How will I get 2 weeks off from work? Or how will my wife get 2 weeks off from her job? And all these reasons start coming in. Oh, you know what? Now that I had decided I want to go to Europe for 2 weeks, maybe I should shop around on other websites. Oh, here's 10 other websites that have other deals on European vacations. So I had the emotional impulse to buy this $2,000 European vacation, but If I acted on it right then, I would have made the emotional decision. But then logically, I said, well, let me shop around. Do we really need 2 weeks? What about, when are we going to even get 2 weeks off? What about the kids? What about the dogs? And all the reasons for not taking the 2-week vacation, the logical part of my mind stops me from moving forward. So marketers and salespeople have taken advantage of emotional impulse since time immemorial, right? As soon as you see something you like, I want you to buy it now. So there are many different emotions: greed, pride, fear is a huge one, fear of missing out, FOMO, exclusivity, scarcity, today only, time pressure. All of these emotions are played on for you to make a decision today. So what you have to do is you have to look at your sales situation, and I don't know your sales situation, you've got to do this, and figure out how you can create urgency. Okay? I'm going to give you several examples, okay? Here is an example of using fear to create urgency. Let's say I get a letter in the mail, and the letter says, you have been summoned to appear in court on such and such a day. If you've ever gotten a letter like that, your heart sinks like, oh, you just got punched in the gut. That's a terrible feeling. So nobody likes that feeling. So what do? I go to the internet and I talk to a lawyer. If he's a good lawyer, wait a minute, it doesn't matter if he's a good lawyer, if he's a good salesman, he's going to use fear to create urgency. He's going to listen to your story about this letter and why you got the summons, and he's going to say, it's very important that you respond to that in the proper way and that you respond to it immediately. Because if you respond to it incorrectly or you delay at all, you have the potential, you could possibly lose your rights, and you could create far more complex legal problems down the road. Wow. So it's possible that I could, if I did it myself, I could respond incorrectly or I could delay. I don't want to do that. I don't want to lose my rights. I don't want to have more legal problems down the road. So here's what the good sales guy, lawyer, does. He said, okay, do you have the summons in front of you? Yes, I do. Okay, I'm going to transfer you over to my administrative assistant. She's going to give you the fax number to fax that to or email it to me, and then she's going to take your credit card, and we're going to so I can get started on preparing your response right away. Okay, see what he did? I am in a tough situation, so he created fear for me that it could be far worse if he doesn't take care of it right now. And then he did something very clever. He created an immediate sale, okay? Once the emotion happens, you have to close the sale immediately. He said, I'm going to transfer you to my administrative assistant. You're going to fax me that document. She's going to take your credit card so I can get started on writing the response to the court immediately. Okay, so we immediately transfer me over, take my credit card, boom, done. Before I can start shopping around, because there are 100 lawyers in town that could help me. Some of them might be half price, but what he did is created fear and created an immediate purchase. Okay, so that's using fear to create urgency. Here's one. I have a customer, one of my coaching clients that I work with is in retail, a general manager of a retail chain. And here's what they do, right? It's called creating urgency by fear of missing out, FOMO, fear of missing out. What they do is all of their associates, their retail people, they wear a sticker on their shirt. It says, ask me about my June specials. So they're talking to a customer. The customer, of course, is seeing this sticker on their shirt. They're talking to the customer. The customer says, well, tell me about your June specials. Well, you said you weren't really going to be moving forward for another 6 months, so I didn't think you'd be interested in the June specials. The June specials are only for people that buy in June and take delivery in June. So if we're going to take advantage of that special, we're going to have to move pretty quickly. So you've created, they don't want to miss out on these June specials. So instead of buying in 6 months, will some people still buy in 6 months? Of course. But some people are going to ask about those and they're going to buy sooner, and it actually works. So what do you think happens on July 1st? Ask me about my July specials. Of course. What do you think happens on August 1st? Ask me about my August specials. So we're creating fear of missing out, and the customer is actually seeking information so that they might make a decision sooner. Okay? If I'm going to talk to you about creating urgency with greed, using greed to create urgency. The best example of this is the Wolf of Wall Street. Jordan Belfort, the real Wolf of Wall Street, and Leonardo DiCaprio does a great job in that movie, but he just seemed to be born with the ability to appeal to your greed.
Hello, John. How you doing today? You mailed in my company a postcard a few weeks back requesting information on penny stocks that had huge upside potential with very little downside risk. Does that ring a bell? Okay, great. Well, reason for the call today, John, is something just came across my desk, John. It is perhaps the best thing I've seen in the last 6 months. If you have 60 seconds, I'd like to share the idea with you. You got a minute? Name of the company, Aerotine International. It is a cutting-edge, high-tech firm out of the Midwest awaiting imminent patent approval on a next generation of radar detectors that have both huge military and civilian applications. Now, right now, John, the stock trades over the counter at 10 cents a share. And by the way, John, our analysts indicate it could go a heck of a lot higher than that. Your profit on a mere $6,000 investment would be upwards of $60,000.
Jesus, that's my mortgage, man.
Exactly, you could pay off your mortgage.
This stock will pay off my house.
John, one thing I can promise you, even in this market, is that I never ask my clients to judge me on my winners. I ask them to judge me on my losers because I have so few. And in the case of Aerotine, based on every technical factor out there, John, we are looking at a grand slam home run.
Okay, let's do it. I'll do $4,000.
4,000, that'd be 40,000 shares, John. Let me lock in that trade right now and get back to you with my secretary with an exact confirmation. Sound good, John?
Yeah, sounds good.
Great. Hey, John, thank you for your vote of confidence, and welcome to the Investors Center.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
But he used greed to create urgency. My daughter ran a charity event for several years in Florida. Big event, huge event. And what I showed her to do was, when you call people who attended this year, upsell them next year to get a table. Instead of just coming as individuals, have them sponsor a table. And then have them, instead of just sponsoring a table, have them be a premier sponsor. Even more charitable donation. So the pitch was to use pride to create urgency, using pride as the emotion to create the impulse to buy. So, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, we really appreciate you coming to our event a few months ago, and we really appreciate your support. You know, this is one of the largest charity events in the city, as you saw. You know, there are over 2,000 people at this event. And I'd like you to consider next year to sponsor a table. And what that will do, Mr. Jones, is that will give us an opportunity to highlight your business. And in addition to sponsoring a table, I'd like you to consider being a premier sponsor. And if you're a premier sponsor, not only will we promote your business in many different ways, but you'll actually get 3 to 5 minutes up on stage and have an opportunity to present one of our awards for the evening. You and your business will be in front of thousands of people in the community. Can I count on you to be a premier sponsor next year? So I use pride to create emotion to go ahead and buy, and then I ask for the sale. Can I count on you to be a premier sponsor for next year? So that's how you use pride, emotion, the emotion of pride, to create an impulse or an urgency to buy. Exclusivity, scarcity. You know there's only 2 of these left, and I don't know when they're going to be sold, but the first one to buy it, first in gets it, right? So since you like the product and you're very interested in it, you might as well buy it now. It would make more sense to buy it now when you know it's available rather than wait until later when it may or may not be available. Does that make sense? Let's go ahead and get this done now. So I use scarcity. There's only 2 left. I don't know how long our inventory of widgets is going to last, but if you want to buy them, it would make sense to buy them sooner rather than later, don't you think? So let's go ahead and get that order in now. So I create urgency. Or if I know I'm going to have a price increase on July 1st, hey, Mr. Customer, our company is planning a price increase on July 1st, so we're calling all of our existing customers and we're giving them 60 days notice. So I just wanted you to know that any orders that you place between now and June 30th are going to be at the current prices. Can I count on you for your usual order, or are you going to be ordering more or less this time? Let's talk about what you need. Let's go ahead and get this order in before June 30th. Okay, so I've created a price increase. Or if you're selling memberships at a club, I mean, there's hundreds of examples of how you do it, right? And I've done this with some of my coaching clients. There's hundreds of examples. If you're selling memberships at a club, in order to encourage, well, first of all, thank you for coming and looking at our club. We really appreciate it. In order to encourage you to become a member this month, we're going to bump you up to the gold benefits package. Remember I described the silver and the gold benefits? That's at no additional charge. And if you sign up this month, we lock in your membership price for the next 3 years with no price increases, guaranteed. Can I go ahead and get you signed up then? Okay, that's how you create urgency. Remember, there's two types. There's situational urgency, where we ask anxiety questions to encourage them to think about the worst case. And you might as well do it now. You should do it now because the risk of putting it off is way too big. You don't want to do that, do you? No, so let's go ahead and do it now. Situational urgency, use anxiety questions, and then emotional urgency. Appeal to their emotion and then make the sale quick, easy, and immediate to get them on the emotion, not after they've had time to logically analyze.